Go ahead, Coach Hopkins.
Yeah, we, the game started. We thought we had a good plan. One of the keys for us was make sure we can defend without fouling. We thought that was a big part in their games that they've beaten us in the past. It was, they made more foul shots than we attempted, and I think that also happened tonight. So that was not a good thing. And you know what? You got to give their hats off to Utah. I mean, they shot the ball as good as we've seen a team shoot the ball. We broke down a few times, but boy, they were hot. And when you play a team that shoots like that, it's going to be a struggle. But our kids kept fighting, kept battling. When we thought we had no chance, we just kept fighting and gave ourselves and created ourselves a chance. But really proud of these guys. Hasn't been the year that we wanted in terms of wins and losses, but I was proud of the way that they were resilient, how they fought, how they stayed together, and how they just kept trying to get better. So really proud of the guys.
We'll start with Percy Allen. Go ahead, Percy.
There we go. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Hey, Percy. How are you?
I'm all right. Hanging in. Hey, it's that old adage about it's not how you start, but how you finish.
Yeah.
However, it seemed as if y'all had a really tough time overcoming your first half performance.
Yeah, you know what? We just did, and they were on fire. I mean, I don't see the sheet how many threes they made in the first half. I'm assuming. I thought, 8 for 15. It was just they were just every time they were open, they were making it. Big guys were making it. Guards were making it. We went through a little bit of a lull when they got up 20-10. That hurt us. Made a couple substitutions, but in our first game when we beat them at our place. We were down 12 and we just kept fighting. We weren't shooting the ball well. Then we got a little bit of a rhythm and started making some shots, gave ourselves a chance with the press, but came up a little bit short.
Hey, and obviously the season just ended and emotions are still probably raw, but just what's your take on this season and what are the priorities heading into the off season?
Well, you know what? It's so fresh off this game, Percy. A big thing is just kind of getting back, talking to the guys, getting ready. What our plan is for next year. Obviously, we were disappointed with our record. That's not where we want to be, and there's got to be some improvements. But these are things that we'll be talking about and working through. And but little fresh today with what's happened in this game. But we'll be back. We'll be back and better.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren Chrisman. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hey, Hop. How are you?
Hey, Lauren. How are you?
Good. You mentioned this a little bit at the end of your statement, but just to see your team fight back the way they did at the end of a season that's been disappointing, just what did that tell you about this group? Well,
that's where I was really proud of them. I mean, we played 8 games in 17 days and, we're at Arizona State, the last 2 of them, and we put ourselves in position to win. This one, we were a little bit far, but we just gave ourselves a chance. And that just shows resiliency, fight, togetherness, and still wasn't enough. But like you said, when you've had your ups and downs, like we've had this year, to stay positive, to keep fighting is one of the keys to being successful in life. You get hit in the face, you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving forward. And these guys did it. We came up a lot short in a few games, but we kept fighting.
And then I wanted to ask about Quade Green and what could be his last game for you guys, for him to go out with a career high and to perform the way he did. Just what can you say about him?
Well, Q is a guy, he only got to play, I think 12 or 13 games last year, 14 games, whatever it was. And, he's just plays hard. He's been a really good teammate, came all the way from Philadelphia. I just wish we could have gave him more wins this year. But, going through what he went through last year and picking up his academic work and getting closer and closer to graduating, he's shown a lot of progress, not only on the court, but in his life. And so I'm really proud of him in that regards.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Hop. Thanks
Hey,
for
Chris.
doing this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just was curious in terms of, you get arguably your best offensive output of the season. How frustrating is that in the whole, especially knowing that if you just get a few stops here and there, it could be a different game?
Well, I think, the big problem this year has been our defense. Our defense was well below average in what we did our first 3 years. It's something that, it's like your engine, you got to fix it. We just weren't good enough defensively. And so, I think the one thing that we did do is we got a lot better offensively. But when you start playing in tournament time and you're winning championships, you always have to hang your head on your defense. That's the one thing that can be consistent. You can control it. And, we had to manipulate it a little bit in the middle of the year because our regular zone just wasn't working. And, it's just one of those things. But our offense was starting to get really good. We made a lot of shots. We were starting to get more assists. Now it just became, could we get enough stops? And we just fell short in a few games.
And I know you just mentioned early that the idea of, especially these last few weeks, of trying to play really high level defense without fouling. How impactful was Hamir Wright getting into foul trouble early in the overall game plan that you wanted to establish?
I think all year, the foul trouble of Hamir and Nate Roberts. I mean, Nate Roberts has given us so much too. And the early foul trouble just kind of puts a chink in your armor a little bit. And, but our guys were resilient. They kept coming back. I decided to play them with 2 fouls. They got us third. But sometimes that happens. But, foul trouble is never good for you. They made 20 foul shots. We only went to the foul line 13 times. I mean, those are numbers that we had to win to have a chance to win this game. And we came up short tonight.
All right. Thanks, Hop.
You're welcome.
Got time for 2 more from Coach Hopkins, then we'll move on to Jamal Bay. Andy Yamashita, go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Hop, thanks for the time.
Yeah, you're welcome, Andy. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. Speaking of Jamal Bay, it seemed like he really started to find his groove late in that second half. How big is his shooting to what you guys are trying to do out there every night?
Well, he's a guy who just works on it day and night, and he's become one of the best 3-point shooters in the country, not just in our league. And a guy that takes pride in his work, and there's no shortcuts in this thing, and work pays off. And I expect him to take a whole nother step in his game next year. He's been a great leader for us. He's not only made shots, but he can play make too. And I look for him to take a big jump next year and being one of the elite players, not only in our league, but in the country.
Definitely. And then you guys really seem like you turned it on those last 8 minutes. What does that say about this group's poise?
Well, you know what? It was fight, and pride. And, Utah was shooting the ball exceptionally well. They got us behind, and it's so easy for teams I've seen across the country just kind of lay down their weapons, and our guys just kept fighting. And that's what we just kept talking about in the huddle. And our guys just kept fighting, staying together, and trying to give ourselves a chance. And, we almost put ourselves in a position to do that. But just says a lot about these kids, their character, because it's easy to be happy and good when it's good. How do you respond when it's bad? And these guys fought, they worked hard, they kept getting better. We just came up a little short in a lot of games.